It's time to lead the way. Let us show you how to reach your fitness goals once and for all. We aren't going to just show you the way. We are going to lead the way.
Welcome, everybody, to the Lead the Way podcast. I'm Coach Sal, head coach of the Lead the Way fitness family here in Southern California. My guest today, her name is Amy. Amy, introduce yourself to SoCal, or probably the nation. I don't know how far this is going to go.
I live in Upland, and I've been going to Lead the Way Fitness for, I think, since November of 2020.
2 years almost.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for doing this. Are you from the Upland area or Southern California?
Well, I grew up in Huntington Beach.
Nice.
And moved out here like 26 years ago to Upland.
What do you do for a living?
I own my own company. I have like a bunch of products and services and software that I offer to the automotive industry.
Rock and roll. Good for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right.
And then on the side, I make earrings as a hobby.
How long have you been doing that?
Yeah. A few years. Yeah,
Nice.
It's my hobby. It's just fun.
Do you have a website?
An Etsy shop. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
before we jump off of this, make sure you give that your handle a shout out so people can check it out.
Oh, thanks. You know, the funny part, Sal, is that I seriously, like, I love to make them and I hate to market them. Like, I don't have that many in my Etsy shop because it's so redundant and so time consuming to, load them up in there and post them. And so I'm horrible with that, but yeah. Thanks.
Word of mouth goes far. Yeah. So you were telling me you just turned 50.
Yes.
Wow. Happy birthday. You look great.
Thank you.
I've stopped in a couple of times, seen you training, seen you doing your thing. You've definitely gotten stronger. You definitely are moving so much better. What are some of the gains you've encountered, some of the wins you've encountered since you've been training with Lead the Way? I
mean, I'm stronger and my legs have come a long way because I used to be in really good shape before. And, throughout the years, you kind of just, your body changes, you go through different, cycles and stuff. But I was like, I want to say like in competition shape at one point. And then that changes, of course. So, most recently I've been trying to focus on my thighs, my legs, my butt. And now I can like comfortably wear shorts again and not like be self-conscious about it. So that's exciting.
That is. Mm-hmm. You worked with trainers before, and it was obviously if you were in competition shape. So how long were you working with trainers prior? How long were you competing? Did you actually?
No, I never competed, but I was like in great shape. Yeah. But I've been working out with a trainer for many years. Actually, that was like my main type of working out. Like that's what I would do. Like people would, buy boats and buy toys and, expensive cars and purses. And we spent money on, personal trainers all the time, like every week for years.
That's awesome. You got your priorities straight. That is awesome. And so what made you stop? Like what was it, just were you burnt out, or is it just time for you to slow down? Did you focus on something else?
No, well, actually, like a few years ago, a couple of years back, it wasn't like I stopped. I was just trying to find another gym because I just wasn't getting the results I was looking for. Okay. I think they get like complacent or just kind of not very motivated or not very creative anymore, So I just wasn't seeing that from my routine. So we took a break and went to a regular gym because my husband and I worked out together with a personal trainer. And then, so we went to a regular, gym. But I just hate those big co-ed gyms. And especially if my husband can't go and I want to go, it's just not my thing. It's not my place. Like, I just don't feel comfortable there really. And then sooner or later, you guys were trying to market to me through a friend that referred me. And I had no idea about you guys actually. And so thank God I did, because I think your trainers are incredible. And like Alex is my trainer. Yeah. And he's so consistent. I think all of them are, but he's so consistent and always trying to push me, and all his motivation level and excitement level is just always upbeat and positive, and everybody's super nice there and motivating each other.
I love that.
Mhm.
Thank you. And shout out to Alex. That's my boy. When we started working together, we were part of the Fit Body Bootcamp franchise back then. And we both worked here at Monrovia. And he actually was hired on about a month before I was. So he's been with the company a little bit longer than I have, but we kind of grew up in the ranks together here with the company. So seeing where he's at today and what he's doing. And, you know, you're 100% right. I think it's one of the biggest challenges as a trainer to stay, even for ourselves, to stay motivated and keep you motivated and to stay creative. It can become very redundant. I was reading something the other day and they were talking about how it's very easy to get lost in a 9 to 5 and your day just becomes dead. It's just this same old routine over and over again. But if you really love what you do, you'll never find that. And that's really, for us, this is very purpose driven. It's very, rewarding for us in that end. So it's always exciting for us. And Alex is one of those guys that he can make an exercise out of like thin air, get a couple bands and a couple posts, and he's doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
He really is that guy. He's super creative when it comes to that. So again, shout out to Alex and the whole Rancho crew. Yeah, they got some great coaches there. Heather has been a great addition. And even Sam coming in.
I know.
Right?
She just like blended right in.
It's funny because we put out the ad for her, and Mary Beth started talking to me about her. So I immediately started Facebook stalking her, and I'm looking at her post and I'm like, she is going to be awesome. She's just like us. You could just tell, and she's fitting perfectly. So
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for the compliments and thank you for that. Who's your friend that referred you?
She is no longer there. She actually moved to Orange County. She worked out in Rancho. Her name is Deanna.
Okay. So, and then you started with us. We were still a boot camp at that point in 2020.
No,
we were still, what month did you start?
November.
Okay, that makes more sense. You're right. So we left the Fit Body Bootcamp franchise in March of 2020. That's when we in-house started leaving, but we didn't announce that we had become Lead the Way Fitness until May of that year. So we took the COVID lockdown and made a big facelift for the company, focus and everything. And so that's literally also the birth of the semi-private groups that we're doing now. And I know that's what you're training in now, correct? Aren't you?
Yeah.
What session time do you go to?
I go Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay. How are you liking it?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
In your group?
Anywhere from 3 to 6, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
Rock and roll. I love it. So you obviously have had either a passion or a love for fitness for some time. When you were growing up, were your parents health freaks? Was that something that was very like driven?
My mom, I grew up with my mom going to the gym, and looking back, I mean, she wasn't like in great shape, and she, and today, I mean, she's a bigger lady, but at least she went, and she got her adrenaline going, and her energy up and all that, and that's great. Yeah. And then I started going to the gym when I was a teenager, so it's just been consistent on and off, throughout the years.
Obviously, as I'm listening, your goals has always been to be in great shape. Are there what's the reason why you want to be in great shape?
One of the reasons is because most of my family members are kind of big, and or more recently, I guess it wasn't always the case, but I just don't want to be unhealthy, really. I don't want to be like that. And diabetes runs in the family and stuff, and I just don't want to have that hanging over my head. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to be energetic and look younger forever,
Awesome. I get it. Do you have children yourself?
Yeah, I have 2 boys.
How old are they?
So the older one is 30.
Nice.
And then the younger one is 21.
Do they follow your lead? Are they fitness freaks as well? Or?
Yeah, I mean, they're not fitness freaks, but they do work out. Right. They're active. They're athletic, and the little one played soccer and he works out. He's going to do a senior year at Cal Poly, actually in France, in
Oh,
Paris.
wow.
Yeah, so we're getting ready for that. And then the older one, he owns his own company, The Herbal Chef, cannabis infused fine dining, and he
Wow.
owns Nostalgia Bar and Lounge in Santa Monica. Yeah, it's really cool. KTLA just did a interview with him. Actually, it aired last night, so that was kind of cool.
What was the name
And
of the location?
Nostalgia Bar and Lounge
In Santa Monica.
uh-huh.
Rock and roll. I'm about to
Yeah.
go check that place out.
Yeah. And then he also does like cannabis infused fine dining, secret supper club, all over the nation, all over the world, actually. So it's kind of exciting stuff.
Congratulations to him and you. You guys did it right. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said something earlier and you repeated it again. When you were talking about Alex, one of the first things you said about him is he's so consistent. And obviously you have been too throughout your life. So this is, it's with your fitness, keeping in shape, or at least being attentive to it throughout time. And I think it's a big key, because most people think that motivation is what drives you, it's what gets you going, it's what keeps you going, but it's not. And motivation is very fleeting. It comes and goes, but in order for you to get to where you are, it's consistency. It's consistency. That's the key. That's the key to everything. It doesn't really matter.
But the way he handles his business, the way he interacts with us is very consistent, because I've been at other gyms where like they start off, really doing a great job, and you're seeing results and stuff, and then it kind of just goes downward a little bit, and it's not as effective. You're not making a change or an impact in your body anymore. And so I definitely see that consistency is super. You're wearing that shirt, obviously. Like for me to see that is very important. Yeah, because it's I don't want to feel like I'm not working a certain muscle group or not seeing results and not, moving forward. And a lot of it is how he kind of runs the program there.
Yeah, we have this saying that we say amongst each other all the time: how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so if you're consistent in your everyday life, in your routines, you're going to be consistent in everything you do. And that's the point. And so,
right.
Again,
and like for me, it goes back to like, working out at 10 a.m. is not that convenient, but twice a week, I make it happen, and I kind of work around that. I make my schedule around that because I want to be consistent, with going twice a week for that session,
I love that. And as a business owner and a mom and a wife, I mean, what's your day like? Like, what time do you start in the morning? What time do you typically end?
I wake up like around 7, and then just get some stuff done around the house, or send some emails out in the morning before my session at 10, like on those days. And then I try to go like once or twice a week to the larger group sessions as well. Let's see. And then I come home, get ready, and go out on the field, see some clients, or go hunt for new business. And then, or I do home office, one day or twice a week or something like that.
But you're a very busy person, right? And so it's very easy for a person to allow life to dictate where they're going to go. But if you take control, like you're doing, like you said, I schedule things around this because I want to make sure that I get that I'm consistent and stay in it. If you start to control your life and the circumstances, then you will find and make the time. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that people face today and I get it, because it's expensive. Honestly, it's expensive to live. And so you got to get out, you got to work. And if you got kids, you got to do so much. And so it's very easy to become a slave to a schedule, to a career, to a job, to anything. But if you don't put the time in for yourself, at some point, you're going to burn out. Your health is going to run out. And this is what we're seeing. This is what we see today. That's the biggest epidemic, where people are extremely unhealthy, living on fast food, going from paycheck to paycheck. And it's a stressful, worrisome life. I
have to tell you, I'm super excited about like when I started November of 2020, it was perfect because I think you guys were like the only gym that was open, not only open, but like mask free, you know, and it was like really awesome.
It's very easy to, again, it wasn't that we were trying to fight against or being unbelievers about the COVID thing and all that, that's all, let the conspiracy theorists and all those people deal with that. Our thing was this: you want to be healthy. It's not about pills. It's not about vaccines. It's not about those things. It's about taking care of your body, taking care of yourself. Fresh air is one of the major components to that. So you can't exercise at a high volume and wear a mask. I know you can, but it's not conducive for your health. It's not good for you. You could actually pass out doing so. And so we took all the extra precautions we could to make sure our facility was clean and make sure people weren't sick. And we went for it. I know we didn't necessarily follow the rules, but honestly, we're Americans. We usually don't follow the rules. So this is what we do. We went about it. And we did what we felt was right. And I, till this day, I am very confident and proud of the decisions we made, because we made it happen. We stayed alive. We thrived during that time, matter of fact, and we are where we are because of those decisions. And so are our clients, people like you who are exceeding in your health and fitness journey. So thank you for recognizing that again. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's next, Amy? What do you, you're doing the semi-private, are you working towards a very specific goal right now? Or are you just going at it, being consistent, just making sure you're keeping it point?
Yeah. I would like to get to, lower my body fat more and increase my muscle mass. And I know I shouldn't pay attention to the weight, but obviously, I get it. And just firm up for the most part, firm my arms, my legs, my butt, and just continue staying fit and feeling healthy and feeling good. And, and then of course, it's just so much better wearing a bunch of clothes that you feel confident wearing and stuff. It's just, for me, I just love it. I want to look good and feel good. And I do better when I look good and feel good, obviously,
We all do.
We're all happier.
Right? Exactly. We're definitely, our confidence goes up. We're more happy, grateful, all those things. That's one of the main reasons I work out, is to ensure that I'm able. That's it. I want to be able for the rest of my life. I never want to be dependent on anything. I want to be able.
Right. And I don't believe in like medication, and then all the illnesses that come along with whatever, because you're not active. And it's like, it's just a big, ugly cycle. And so I try to not go that direction.
Good. Yeah. I'm right there with you. A Tylenol here and there, maybe, but I hate taking medications as well. I don't want anything to do with the pharmaceutical industry in that sense. It's just coming from that world where I worked in medical clinics and just watching the cycle of pill prescribing with no real hope or change for the person. It was just sad. And I wanted nothing to do with it. And I knew there was something else I could do about it. Here I am, and I'm doing, I'm putting everything I got into this. So it's definitely there. So the audience knows again, we talked about this, you're 50 years old, you've been doing this for some time, but right now working in the semi-privates, you're doing barbell work, you're doing heavy lifting at times, correct?
Yeah. And, I need to push myself to do more like heavier weight, really. And Alex does a good job of that. But like, I don't know what's going on, but like, 1 week, it's like my knee is bugging me. Like, what the heck did I do to my knee? So I have to be careful with that. And so we will make a little adjustment there. And then, if I get like a lower back pain, for example, then I have to kind of, watch that so it doesn't get worse or whatever. So just hiccups here and there for the most part. But my ideal situation is to do heavier weight to really maximize my to firm.
Get that muscle going, get firmer, like you said, firmer in tone. And I hope everybody heard what she said. Even with the issues that she may have from time to time, you're talking about your knee or your lower back. It's not that you stop. You just alternate, or working with Alex, he shows you a different way or a different approach to doing the same thing and getting the same gains. Just being more mindful and cognitive. And that's how athletes train. I think people have this, they get hurt and they stop. and they derail themselves, and then it's the cycle starts all over again, and they put on more weight, and it's like, oh, here we go again. And again, we're right back to where we started with consistency. You movement heals. And so you got to keep at it and working with the right person who has the knowledge, the experience, and the want to help you and to show you. Then that's where all the magic continues to happen. So awesome. This is why I do this. This is why I want people to hear this, and coming from you, because a coach, and they're like, oh,
I know,
right? But coming from you, and you're on the other side, you're on their side, and they can start to understand it. Oh, holy cow, this is true. This is real. This is how it works.
Yeah, totally. But I have to say though, like I did have a lot of pain before. Like I went through a time where like my neck was super tight and just really painful. And then I had like I had a dislocated shoulder because I went like this real quick to hold up something that was going to fall. And then it like gave me a lot of problems for a few years. It was like chronic pain, right? Then I went at my old gym, they were talking about this guy that did physio realignment, and he's like a magic worker. Between that and stopping, I stopped eating gluten. Then like that pain went away. So like it was just unbelievable the impact that it made to stop eating gluten, and how it was an inflammatory to my body, and I had no idea. So I mean, people just need to try different things and see what works out best for them,
I love that you brought that up as well, because it's right for many people. I would say even for most, we all have food sensitivities, food allergies, and it's literally your body talking to you, telling you this does not work for me, and it's causing harm. And there's a I would say a vast majority of people do have a gluten sensitivity, but they don't even recognize it because they're so accustomed to living with that pain. Like they're just now, or whatever, the inflammation or whatever problems that present from it, they're just used to it. So they live with it. It's not even, they don't even recognize it anymore.
Right. I know.
Right. And so there's so many foods that are like that too. So getting away from medicine, pills and stuff like that, and changing your diet, eating whole foods, or even doing an elimination diet where you can actually start to recognize what foods, when you reintroduce these foods, what foods cause what.
Yeah.
And that in itself, there's so many benefits. One is you will lose weight when you do an elimination diet, because you're only going to eat whole foods, and it's going to be very nutritious food. So it's not, super high in calories.
Yeah.
And two is you get to understand what certain specific foods do to your body. And then you have the choice. It's an educated choice after that. If you decide to continue to eat those things, and that's 100%, you're telling yourself, I'm going to accept doing harm to my body, and that's just, but if you, at that point, decide to do something different, it could literally change your life. It could literally take something that, you didn't really recognize was going on, or you did, but you didn't know how or what was causing it. And next thing you know, you change something you're eating, there you are.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God, it's a game changer.
How long have you been gluten-free then? A couple
3 years. 3 years.
What else? What's your diet consist of like now?
Well, when I first started, I did not eat anything from a package. Nothing from a box or a package. It was just whole foods, fresh foods, proteins, and and then I started eating like the gluten-free crackers and stuff like that, or gluten-free bread. But typically I'll have like rice, potatoes, proteins, fruits, vegetables. I mean, everything except typical breads.
Yeah.
That are so freaking good, and I miss them. But it's not worth it to me.
That's how
from a digestive standpoint, to the inflammation in my joints and muscles, and it's like, no, thank you. So I'm super diligent. I'm super strict about that.
Good.
Yeah. I did a blood test 3 years ago that my doctor recommended, and it was a food sensitivity blood test, and it broke down everything for me, and that was my roadmap. And so ever since then, it was like, all right. And then sure enough, it was like magic.
That's
Mhm.
crazy. And that's awesome. And I always want to state what you said to me, because I hear these things all the time. And for me, it's shocking that people think this way, but at the same time, being in this field now for so long, I get it. But I asked you what you ate, and one of the first things you said, I eat rice, I eat potatoes, and I can't even begin to tell you, Amy, how many people are like, you can't eat that when you're trying to lose weight. I'm like, that's absolutely the wrong mindset. Is you
Right,
actually,
right.
it's the wrong thing to say. They're
Totally.
whole foods, they're natural foods. You should be eating them to lose weight. It's just it's the way you prepare them
Right.
what makes the difference.
Yeah, totally. And it's not like I eat that all the time, but I enjoy that when I can, of course.
Yeah.
But I like to tell everybody like that asks me about this, because I think it's important to reiterate that it's not about working out like 6, 7 days a week. It's really about how your food and your diet is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I've always worked out like around 3 days a week, actually. And I had the best, I was in great shape, and I still do, like in 3 weeks. I mean, 3 days a week, sometimes 4, it depends. But and I don't think the typical person, like me, needs a whole lot of working out. It's just you have to watch what you eat and work out consistently, and you're going to see results. That's just the bottom line.
I hope everybody heard that. I really do. I to this day, we still have members who'll be here 6 days a week, and I'm asking them, well, how are you sleeping? Or, what's your diet like? And those two responses aren't as strong as, but I'm gonna get my 6 workouts in. I'm like, you don't understand. You're burning your wheels. You're spinning in cycles that you're just not going to get out of, and you're not going to see what you actually are trying to see.
I totally agree. And I'm horrible about getting enough sleep, and I can totally tell. And then I will not get through. I can see it like week by week when I don't get the results I'm looking for. It's because I wasn't sleeping good enough or long enough, I mean, and or if I skip breakfast, because I'm telling you, like, I don't know what it is. I will gain weight if I don't eat breakfast. It's true.
Yeah.
And so I have to like eat breakfast, and I try to eat, lunch, but getting sleep, because that's how obviously your muscle is gonna build and stuff. But yeah, it's crazy how the body works. I mean,
Yeah, it really is. My goal is to do the Long Beach Marathon here in October, so my workout routine will pick up, but typically 3 days a week. That's it. 3 days a week. I focus on sleeping 7, 8 hours a night. I'm in bed by 9 o'clock. I'm up at 4:15, 4:20 every morning, but I'm getting 7 hours of sleep at a minimum. And I don't, everybody so again, if your trainer, if your coach lives this way, why are you doing 6, 7 workouts a week and sleeping like crap and eating like that? It just doesn't make any sense. So
right.
yeah, I hope everybody is listening. I really do.
3 days a week is a magic number, really.
Honestly, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Again, unless you're an athlete and you're competing for something, you're doing something, that's definitely different. But for people like us who, we have our careers, our whole thing is just to be in shape and to be fit and be lean. 3 days a week, focus on what you're eating, get your sleep. Sleep is where the magic's at. You don't build muscle at a workout. You don't build anything at a workout. You actually rip, tear down, break down at a workout. All of the magic, all of the results come in the sleep and the recovery. They always have. So thank you for bringing that up. Again, This is why we do these. Rock and roll. Well, Amy, I want to thank you again for joining me on this podcast. I definitely sent out a message a while ago, and not too many people. We kind of hand selected, well, not hand selected, we randomly selected about 15 different people from our locations. Not too many people responded. And so this time I just said, just go for it. Let's just send the message out to everybody. I woke up one morning and I had my calendar booked out till September now. And so thank you. I am grateful. I am very, very grateful. Your son's restaurant was in Santa Monica. What's the name of it?
Nostalgia Bar and Lounge.
We have to go check that out.
Yeah, so very cool. I'm excited to see this podcast grow and get some traction.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I will let you know when we air.
Thank you so much, Sal. Take
You're
care.
very welcome, Amy. Have a
All
great
right.
weekend.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. You too. Bye.